Good evening, everybody. Thank you so very much for having me be here today. My name is Rosali Polanco, and this is my first opportunity to be involved with the work that Acumen is doing, so I am very excited that you have me here. Thank you so very much. I am very truly grateful, and I apologize if I'm getting a little bit nervous because I don't usually do a lot of public speaking and stuff like that, and there's a lot of people here, so I'm just trying not to be nervous because whenever I get nervous, I start to talk really fast. Nobody can understand nothing I'm saying, which is very frustrating for me, as you can imagine, so I usually have to try to calm down, take a deep breath. So, okay, so sorry about that. But anyway, so I know that this is an international gathering of people and everything, and me personally, I am Dominican. Actually, you could say that I grew up in the capital of Dominican Republic, otherwise known as Washington Heights in New York City. But anyway, me personally, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult for me to I will just say, I don't know if there's any other Dominicans here, but I heard that there's some Nicaraguan people maybe and like a Panamanian. That's close enough for me right now. So, I know that the work that Acumen is doing, I can actually relate to the idea that, you're trying to help people empower themselves and stuff like that, because actually at my college, I'm a junior right now, but I was involved in a project where we created our own organization, so I co-founded it at my college, and it's also for empowering young people, women specifically, and the name of my organization is called The BOM. And the BOM actually is an acronym. It stands for Dominican American Benevolent Organization for Mothers and Babies. And, I know the name is a little bit long, but with the war on terror and everything, the Dean of Student Activities stopped as, saying the BOM and used the whole thing so nobody would get the wrong impression. So basically what Dominican American Benevolent Organization for Mothers and Babies does is that we try to advocate for students on campus who are also working mothers. We try to identify the ones who have a lot of academic promise. Like, for example, me, I am in school full-time, and also I have a daughter, and also I'm working full-time. And actually, I just got promoted at my job. Right now, I am the junior assistant to the associate director under the senior vice president for business development. So it's very exciting. It doesn't fit on a business card, but basically, I just think that when you give people the opportunity to empower themselves, it's a totally different thing than, if you just say, I think that if we could help this one or help that one. It's really all about, the help for yourself coming from within. And I think that that's very important because, all people, we all deserve that opportunity around the world, But especially also, I look at us as Latinos in this country, it's we're about to be the majority in 2 weeks, So we deserve just as much opportunity as anyone else to make sure that our voices count. And I just want to thank you for making sure that there is a more global sounding chorus of voices from around the world, and everything is really cool. So thank you so much. Okay, thank you very much. Bye. Well, good evening, everyone. I wanted to start by saying, my name is Praveen Manvi, by the way, but I am based here in the United States. I live currently in Virginia, so you could say that I'm one of these fake Americans that you've heard of. But actually, originally I'm from India, and I do work with an NGO. I'm based in Delhi. The NGO itself is based in Delhi, but in fact, that is originally how I did meet Sarah Jones, that she was doing some kind of performance thing where she's traveling all around. She went to different cities. She was in Kolkata, she was in Delhi, she was in, I think, Bangalore, a few other places. And so we met her at that time. Yeah, did you see her there too? It's fantastic, right? Great. Okay, so, on that occasion is when I happened to meet her, and we were talking a bit. She's a very nice woman, a bit tall, but other than that, she's fitting in quite well. And she asked me to come here this evening, and she told me that it will be taking place here in New York. And honestly, I was thrilled about that. Okay, because typically my work, it takes me to Washington D.C. And that there I must attend these meetings, mingling with some tiresome politicians, trying to make me feel comfortable by telling how often they are eating the curry in Georgetown. So I don't, I do appreciate this particular refreshing opportunity. But now, I should say also that at these meetings, I am part of an NGO after all, so I do take the opportunity to complain about what is not yet being done for human rights and development. I explain to them, that I worry that some governments seem to think that Millennium Development Goals means that we should all sit back and relax, since we have at least 1,000 years before we have to reach any of them, But just to reiterate some of what has been said here, I do find that the fact that tonight is not a celebration of charitable giving, okay, even though that does have its place, of course, but this is instead a tribute to the ingenuity, to the intelligence, and to the power that all the world's people possess right in their own backyard. And I really, I think that the fact that this is about successful models for sustainable development, which recognize that poor people have wealth in the form of potential, okay, that people have dignity, and that they deserve the same thing that we all want, right, which is what, self-determination, right? So, I think that it's quite funny actually that it took my experience of coming here to the United States to have that point really hit home for me. And I will say, even coming from a relatively privileged class, being here has taught me how easy it is for people to stereotype or group others into one lump. And I just want to say, my office, this was a few years ago, this was back around the time of September 11. I was based here in New York, and my office was downtown. And I had a view of the Statue of Liberty, that symbol of freedom and possibility for so many diverse people, right? And around that time, I remember I overheard an American-born person in my building saying, I know this country is a melting pot, but I think if the Statue of Liberty could talk today, she would say, that's enough. There's no more room. If you wanted to come, you should have come earlier. And I remember thinking, unfortunately, there are some people who had that mentality, but even in my own work, I have noticed that at times this kind of thinking can be behind even the most well-intentioned charitable giving. And I say that because some people, if you really ask them, they believe that there are some in this world who are just less able, or who are just hopeless statistics, or who are helpless victims, right? And it is simply not true. So people like those served by Acumen Fund, these are fellow members of our human family, our sisters, our brothers, our daughters and sons, right? And they are eager, willing, and quite able to create solutions for their own problems if we will simply stop talking down to them and begin dialogue in partnership with them. So I wanted to say that in all seriousness, I think Acumen is at the forefront of this kind of movement, and I thank them for the visionary approach, and I thank you all for your support of that. Now enjoy the scarves. Wonderful. Good night. And thank you all.